Before I go into my full demo here, starting in chapter 8, I want to remind you to really pay attention here because chapter 8 is all about color editing and color retouching. That's all the real technical stuff that most people use Photoshop for. Chapter 8 is going to be the one that really helps you out, especially with photography. So take notes if you need it. I'm going to go to File and Open. And right here, I will find my chapter 8 folder, and I'm going to go to 8.1, black and white enhancements. Okay, doesn't look like we really have anything here, but you can see my layers panel. I'm going to strip all the layers off, and right here, I just started with a simple black background. At a Civil War reenactment, I photographed this guy who looked a lot like President Lincoln, and I didn't want that just to be a standard photo. I want it to look old-fashioned. So I found this vintage border effect right there. Okay. Number one, it's a solid black and white layer. So like I've shown you way back in chapter 2, the way you make white transparent is through multiply, blending mode. So I'm going to set that to multiply. Now we've got this kind of aged 1800s kind of shot. But I don't want a full color portrait. So I click on the portrait of Mr. Lincoln, and all I have to do is go to Image menu, Adjustments, Black and White. Okay, that's going to strip out all the color. The problem here is this is a permanent change, so I better like what I'm doing. So if I went with yellows right there and made the reds bright and I clicked OK and then I saved it and sent it to my boss would look at it and say, really? You made the photo look worse. Do it over. And I have to tell him I can't. I ruined the photo. Okay, so never do the changes on your originals because you're gonna run the risk of screwing it up, and then a boss or a customer is going to tell you they don't like it. So I'm going to go to Edit, Undo. What you're going to focus on here as well in chapter 8 is non-destructive color editing. So you'll notice if I'm on the photo of President Lincoln, right over here I have a Properties panel, and next to that I have an Adjustments panel. Okay. Right down here, it lists individual adjustments, and I want to do black and white. So I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to click black and white. Okay, that immediately jumps over to my Properties panel, and I get the same window I had before. So let's say I take the reds, because he had a lot of red skin tones, and I make them way too bright. Again, ruining the photo. I send this to my boss or my customer, and they look at it and say, that looks terrible. No, that doesn't look good. Fix it. I can, because this is non-destructive. So I click right here on this icon, the black and white, takes me right back to my settings that I did previously, and I back it off. I didn't want that much. I want more yellow. Nope, I want less yellow. I want the grounds to look a little darker, have a little more detail. I want the greens to have a little more darkness. It just adds a little more detail to the photo. If there was any blue, it's minor, but I'll darken it in just a little bit. And let's see if it had any dark blue. A little bit, kind of darkens in the color a little. But that kind of helps me to age the photo. Okay, and I like that look. Now I can stick with the black and white, or if my customer says, well, photos from the 1800s, they don't really just turn black and white. They have kind of a sepia tone. They have that kind of dull brownish look. Can you add some of that in there? Yeah, I can. I can click right up here on tint. I click the little icon or the checkbox, and now I can add a color tint to this image. So I'll just click right here. I'll change the color tint to whatever I want. We'll go the darker color. just to get a muted color tone right there. And I click OK. Then I send it to my customer and they look at it and they're like, oh yeah, that kind of makes it look yellow. Actually, the black and white did look better. Sorry. Can you take out the yellow? I changed my mind. Here's my adjustment layer, non-destructive editing. Click on the icon so you know you're there. And I turn off the tint and I'm right back where I started. That is beautiful, especially if you are presenting the work to someone else. If someone else is paying you for it, they get to make the decisions, not you. You make them happy. So always have a way out. Okay? If I turn this off, it's like I never touched my photo. It's still the original color photo. I added an adjustment. Anything I do on this layer filters down on the layers below it. And that's how you make a non-destructive black and white photo, by using adjustment layers to help you to edit the colors on your photography. There you go. Simple black and white adjustments. We're done.